If winter hiking feels harder than it should, you're not imagining it. Winter hiking is harder, but not because you're weak, inexperienced, or doing something wrong. Most people struggle in the winter because they try to hike the same way they do in the summer. Only it's much colder in the winter, and the terrain and conditions can make trails much more challenging. Winter hiking doesn't mean you need to be tough or hardcore. It just means you need to apply different systems. Once you understand how to adapt instead of pushing through fear or discomfort, winter hiking will start to feel a lot more manageable and honestly become a lot more enjoyable. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Kathleen, a food-motivated hiker, solo backpacker, backpacking coach for women, and the Hungry Hiker here on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 common winter hiking challenges and show you exactly how I adapt to each one safely, realistically, and without pushing through fear or discomfort. If you've ever tried winter hiking before and thought, yeah, this is not for me, this video is going to give you clarity and a plan. If you're excited about learning how to confidently hike during the winter, go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for new videos each week about hiking, backpacking, and tips on how you can plan your next outdoor adventure. All right, let's start with the biggest winter hiking challenge, hiking in the snow. Hiking in the snow, especially when it's deep, can be exhausting. Not because you're out of shape, but because snow completely changes how you move. If you've ever post-holed where your leg drops straight down through the snow, you know how tiring it can be. Deep snow can make hiking slow, frustrating, and honestly, it's a great way to tweak a knee or an ankle, and you don't want to do that. Instead of thinking you need to be hardcore and have to power through the snow while tiring yourself out and risking injury, try hiking with traction devices like a pair of snowshoes instead. Snowshoes spread your weight out, which makes hiking smoother, safer, and way less exhausting. Using snowshoes to hike in deeper snow isn't cheating. It's being efficient and kind to your body. Moving on to challenge number 2, hiking in the rain. Winter rain hits very differently than summer rain. It's colder, heavier, and way less forgiving. And if you get wet in the winter and stay wet, that's when things can start to feel uncomfortable and can potentially be unsafe. Where most people make the mistake when they get wet while hiking in the rain is thinking, I'll just deal with it. But winter rain is not something you want to just deal with. If I see that there's rain in the forecast, I'll line the inside of my pack with a trash compactor bag and then pack all of the contents inside my pack inside the trash compactor bag so everything has a better chance of staying dry during my hike. When it comes to what I wear and the clothes I pack for my rainy winter hikes, I always either wear or pack a waterproof rain jacket. For my footwear, I like to wear a pair of waterproof, lightweight hiking boots with ankle support. And on top of my hiking boots, I like to wear a pair of waterproof gaiters which help keep my feet and lower legs warm and dry. Even if there isn't rain in the forecast, I always carry some sort of rain jacket in my pack during the winter. It's when I don't carry a rain jacket with me that it will most likely rain during my hike. Staying dry when you're out hiking in the rain isn't about comfort. It's about staying warm, and staying warm is about staying safe. Challenge number 3 is short days. With winter hiking comes shorter days. Having less daylight can feel really limiting, especially if you're used to hiking longer miles during the summer. Where a lot of people can go wrong here during the winter is trying to cram the same amount of mileage into their hike when they have less hours of daylight. During the winter, I plan shorter hikes on purpose. I also always choose a turnaround time instead of a destination time. This way, I'm less likely to have to hike back to the trailhead in the dark. Turning around early shouldn't be considered a failure either. It's just good winter decision making. And if for some reason I do have to hike back to the trailhead in the dark, I always carry with me in my pack a fully charged headlamp so I'm able to see my way safely and confidently. It's okay to give yourself permission to hike less miles during the winter. With the sun setting between 4:30 and 5 p.m., shorter days are just part of the season. Challenge number 4 is muddy, wet, and icy trails. Winter trails can be slippery and extremely challenging. During the winter, a trail can be easily covered with mud, ice, wet rocks, and roots, sometimes all within the same mile. Navigating on challenging terrain during the winter can not only be tricky, but it can also be downright dangerous. A mistake I see often during the winter is when people rely on balance and luck. I personally choose to rely on traction. During the winter, I like to use a pair of trekking poles for extra stability and wear a pair of micro spikes over my hiking shoes whenever there's ice on trail. These tools help give me a little extra control and an extra level of confidence whenever I have to hike over challenging terrain instead of feeling anxious about falling and sliding down the trail. It's okay to be extra cautious and slow down when hiking on challenging terrain. In fact, I highly recommend it. Winter conditions demand respect, not bravery or toughness. By slowing down and using the right gear for the right conditions, you help yourself stay safe instead of getting injured while you're out there. Challenge number 5 is cold weather. Cold weather isn't dangerous. Cold weather plus wind and moisture is usually where the problems can start because overheating and sweating can actually make you feel colder later. Be bold and start cold is always my motto for when starting my winter hikes. This means instead of starting my hike warm with all of my layers on, I usually just start hiking in my base layers, or if it's really cold out, a fleece dress over my base layer. This way, as I start to warm up from hiking, my temperature is better regulated. I'm less likely to have to stop within the first half mile to adjust my layers, and I reduce the chance of sweating in my base layers. For my winter hikes, I like to layer my clothing strategically using base layers, which is the layer closest to my skin. Then a mid layer, which is considered the insulating layer, and then a protective outer layer, which is usually wind and waterproof. Since my hands and feet are prone to getting cold easily during the winter, also bring a pair of liner gloves and mittens. Also wear a pair of hot sockies, which are these neoprene sleeves that fit right over my socks and help keep my toes nice and warm. I also like to have a couple extra pairs of hand warmers in my pack, just in case my hands get really cold during my hike. Packing extra clothing layers isn't overkill. It's proper preparation. The weather can change quickly, especially when you're up in the mountains during the winter. Having the flexibility to be able to adapt to whatever the weather forecast throws your way while you're out there will help you stay safe and comfortable during your winter hike. Challenge number 6 is dehydration. Winter dehydration can sneak up on you easily because oftentimes you don't feel sweaty when you're hiking in the cold weather. When the temps are close to freezing out, I like to store my drinking water in an insulated water bottle like this one. I also like to pack at least 2 liters of water. Whenever I stop to catch my breath along my hike, I also make myself take a sip of water instead of waiting until I feel thirsty. Electrolytes can also help you stay hydrated too. During the winter, I also like to pack an 11th essential in a small thermos, which is usually some sort of hot beverage like hot cocoa, tea, or soup. Just because it's cold out doesn't mean your body needs less water. Your body actually needs more water than you might think, especially during the winter. Challenge number 7 is navigation and obscured trails. During the winter, snow can hide everything: the trailhead, trail signs, and landmarks. And this can make a lot of people feel uneasy or second guess themselves when hiking during the winter. But instead of worrying about snow hiding everything, think about it this way. Winter can be a great time to learn and practice on-trail navigation. All throughout the year, whenever I'm out on trail, whether the trail is snow-covered or not, I always have a map of the area I'm hiking in. This can be a paper map or a digital map of the area downloaded on my GPS device. This way, I always know exactly where I am and where I'm going. If you're feeling unsure about navigation, especially on a snow-covered trail, that's completely normal. This is why having the right tools and knowing how to use them matters all year round, especially during the winter when everything is covered in snow. Navigation isn't about confidence. It's about information, and having more information can help reduce fear. Challenge number 8 is avalanche awareness. Not all snow is hiking snow, and your favorite trail that you hike in the summer could be incredibly dangerous to hike during the winter. This is why during the winter, I always try to avoid hiking in avalanche terrain and always check the avalanche forecast before I head up into the mountains. If I don't know or I'm not sure, I won't go to that area and will pick another place to go hiking instead. Avoidance is the best avalanche safety strategy. This isn't fear, it's just good winter hiking decision making. Challenge number 9 is wildlife encounters. Just because it's wintertime doesn't mean all of the wildlife disappears. During the winter, animals are usually trying to conserve their energy, which can make a possible encounter feel even more intense. Before hiking into an area, do some research to learn what wildlife may live in the area you're hiking in and what to do in the event of a possible encounter. No matter what time of the year it is, always stay alert and make noise whenever appropriate, especially if you're hiking alone or are in low visibility areas. If I do encounter wildlife out on trail, I always give them a wide berth and keep my distance. When it comes to wildlife encounters out in the backcountry, preparation and respect can go a long way here. And finally, challenge number 10 is the motivation to go outside. This winter hiking challenge matters the most because motivation usually doesn't show up before going on a winter hike. It shows up after you go. Winter is the hardest season of the year for me to want to get outside. It's dark, it's cold, it's wet out. Conditions can be less than ideal, which makes it easy for me to want to talk myself into staying inside instead of going outside for a hike. But winter hiking can help build identity and create confidence. You become someone who knows how to overcome winter hiking challenges instead of waiting for perfect conditions. When hiking in the winter, I like to focus on the benefits of winter hiking. Less crowds, no bugs, enjoying beautiful scenery when everything is covered in snow, getting outside, and being able to extend my hiking season year-round, along with an incredible opportunity to practice building my physical and mental strength, use my gear, and build up my confidence while navigating through snow and cold weather conditions. If winter hiking feels or seems harder than it should, it's usually not because you're doing something wrong. It's because no one ever taught you how to overcome winter hiking challenges safely. And this is an example of what I teach inside the Confident Solo Female Backpacker System. Learning how to hike and backpack confidently in real-world conditions without having to push through fear or discomfort. I help women all over the country go from feeling scared and intimidated about backpacking to feeling comfortable planning their trips so that they feel confident getting out on trail. If you're interested in learning more about the backpacking program I created for women, click the link in the description below to book a free one-on-one Zoom call with me where we'll talk about your backpacking goals, where you feel stuck, and whether my program is the right fit for you. If you like this video and got some value out of it, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for new videos each week and hit the bell icon to get notified each time new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy trails and keep on trekking.